Hi, I'm Jill Sandwright Callender, the author of the Happy Little Garbage Truck Picture Book and Educational System. We have been talking about interoception for at least 2 weeks. And I have to say that the more I learn about this particular inner sense, the more I'm astonished at how much it has a major effect on our children's behavior. And we're slowly getting to the part of this talk that talks about the actual behaviors that may come out of a child not having a good interoceptive sense. And so that's why we're doing activities or talking about activities that you could do with your children to help them build that interoceptive sense, to know what's going on inside of their bodies and helping them have a dialogue or be able to communicate what they're feeling. And a lot of these activities have come from um, a workbook that I found online, which I'll give you a link to below. And this person from South Australia, Mrs. Goodall, has Interoception 101 as her workbook. And today's skills were I had to think about this. I said, how should I? Well, to tell you the truth, I didn't really see this as being a good way to teach a child about when they're thirsty or hungry, because some of it has to do with deprivation. And it's just difficult for me to say that that would be a good way to teach a child. But to give her credit, she did tie it into, say, like a World Hunger Day and have the children miss snack time and then give them, ask them how are they feeling when they're hungry and then giving them a snack later on. But, I thought back on my own practice and here are the examples that I would give to teach the feelings of thirst and hunger. For hunger, um, I had one little boy who we couldn't identify why it was every day about the same time because I started doing what I was given by behaviorists a scatter plot. And that's when you start detecting which behavior happens. You're following a single behavior on the sheet, and you start just giving a little mark to show when that behavior occurs even to a small degree, and then if it happens to a larger degree, you color in the whole box. So I was doing a scatter plot on him about his behavior, and I noticed that every day about 11 o'clock, this little boy had a lot of no, maybe about 11:30, 11:45. He was starting to become deregulated, and I just by chance, and I suppose it's just a lot of thought that went into it, but it occurred to me that maybe he was hungry. And so we started giving him a small snack in between snack time and lunchtime, just a little snack to carry him over. And, was a very high energy little boy. And we'll talk about energy at a later talk. And I realized that he was using so much energy that it had actually depleted his supply of nourishment. So he needed that little snack to get him over the hump. And so, in looking at that, you could actually say to a child, I noticed that you're feeling a little frustrated. And, what do you feel inside? And they may not be able to identify it, but if they said, my stomach hurts or something to that effect, you could actually ask them, is it your stomach or is it your head? And using that body chart, show them, what part of the body you think might be affected. And then after, say, like he has a snack, says, now, how do you feel now? Does your head feel better? Does your tummy feel better? And then have them make those connections to their hunger and their feeling of discomfort. Um, because sometimes if you don't make that connection, the child won't make that connection. For thirst and for water, this is one that we could do on the playground, just as the children are running around playing. And we have bottles of water. Back in the day, we would just get a drink of water from the water fountain. But while they're running and having a good time, and you can see them perspiring, it says, "How does your body feel?" And if they say just really warm, and they could touch their face to see if their skin feels warm, it says, "Do you think it's a good time to take a drink of water?" And they may or may not agree, but offer it and let them taste. So, how do you feel now? Because with the lack of water, especially, we're going through a very hot period of days here in California, and it's just something to be on top of because a child doesn't necessarily know when to sip water. Sometimes we adults don't know when we're getting thirsty, but to help them kind of make the connection so that they won't get dehydrated. And I know some people say, well, just take a sip every couple of minutes, but it's also good to anchor that with the child by showing them the body chart, like our body needs water. Where are you right now? Is your body saying that your head needs water right now? And that to me is the area of the body that will feel the lack of water more quickly than any other part. And our heads, our tongues, our mouths. Does your mouth feel dry inside? Is it time for a sip of water? And then that way you're creating the dialogue for the child so that they can actually attach meaning to what's going on in their bodies. So these are two tips that I believe can be pretty easily done without depriving your child, and have them acquire an understanding of what is happening within their bodies, and their feelings are telling them something that's going on in their bodies, but they may not be hearing it. So we're their guides. And I just hope that this is a helpful tip as well on how to teach interoception. And we'll see you later on for more tips. Thank you so much. Bye bye.